Well guys, what's the crack? It's Nora Sims here and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a different video, my tips and tricks for building in The Sims 4. If you are an experienced Sims 4 builder, there may not be anything new for you here, but you never know, you just might find something new that you didn't know before. So if you're interested, I would definitely stick around till the end. Anyway, these are all pretty basic tips that I feel like if you enjoy building in The Sims or you want to become better at building, these are definitely some tips that you should incorporate into your building. They just make things a lot easier. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to want to do is put in our cheats, and these are just going to make things a little bit easier. So if you haven't put in cheats to your game before, how you open up your cheat console is by pressing Ctrl, Shift and C all together, and you will get this box up in the corner. And the first cheat that you're going to want to put in is bb.move objects space on, and hit enter, and that will enable move objects. So all that means is that you can place objects without having to worry about the objects intersecting with each other. So it's obviously very handy for placing decorations, for doing your clutter and things like that. It is a lifesaver of a cheat. So that is definitely the first one you want to make sure that you have on. And now these next cheats are to basically unlock items within the game. I actually have these automatically set to always be on in my game using the mod, the MC Command Center. I'll put a link down below where you can download that mod. It is a very heavy mod. If you don't have a computer that you think could run it, I probably wouldn't install it, and it is quite a complicated mod. I don't even fully understand all the elements of things you can do with it. It's a fantastic mod, but it is quite complicated. So I automatically have these cheats on, but I will just put them here to show you in the text box. So the first one you're going to want to put in is this is a long one. It is bb.ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement. This cheat basically does is it unlocks objects in your game that would only be available through certain careers. So just first off, when we go in here to the lighting, so here is this that would usually be locked, and you'll see here it says unlocked by purchasing this object at the flea market. So usually you would have to play gameplay and go to the flea market and purchase it to get this item. However, I have this cheat on so I can use it in my builds if I want to. And the next one we want to put in is bb.show hidden objects, and this is going to open up your debug menu, which gives you extra items that you don't see in your catalog. These items are not really functional, but they are great for adding some realism, some decoration, all that kind of stuff to your builds. There's also some really cool objects that you can use to get very creative with. And then as an extension to that cheat, what you're going to want to put in, and you need to make sure you put this in after you've put in show hidden objects, you're going to want to put in bb.show live edit objects. That unlocks further objects for you. These are like world items, so I'll just close my cheat bar using escape. I close the cheat bar. If you look around the world, you'll see different trees and objects like these rocks and things that wouldn't come up in the catalog, but now that you have these cheats on, you're going to be able to find them. And that is the next step, actually finding these objects. So after you put in all those cheats, you then go to your search over here and you're going to type in debug. So you will start typing it, and eventually, yeah, I have it with DEB, but I'll just type the full thing in just to be sure. Debug, like this. And you just click on any of these with the 2 asterisks and capital debug. And it might take a little while to load depending on how many packs you have. So here we are. This is our debug objects. So you can, of course, filter these by packs, and just, yeah, this is going to take you a lot of time. I spend a lot of time scrolling through this debug menu, but it's fantastic. Like, not everything in here is 100% usable, but it really can make a difference. One of the new additions to this menu, and I don't know which ones exactly are new, but they recently added in these kind of shell buildings that you can use. So they're pretty cool. The main thing I use the debug menu for are these right here, the cars. So yeah, these are so useful if you are making a garage. I always put garages into my houses, and these are just the cars that you see around the world. I say that now, and there's none here in Newcrest, but you will see them in different worlds parked about. They are not functional, unfortunately. The Sims hasn't secretly hidden drivable cars in the debug menu, but they look cool. So yeah, they look cool. They can make your house complete if you want to build your garage. There's a few different types. The only thing is, obviously in debug you can't change swatches and things like that. There are some objects in this debug menu that actually can't be deleted once they've been placed. They can't be sold. A few of the tombstones, I believe, and things like that. So really this menu is yours to explore. One of the great things about it is these landscaping objects, because as you can see, they are free. 0 simoleons these cost. So if you're trying to do like a budget starter home, but you want it to look nice, because it's really hard to make starter homes look nice if you're trying to stick to the budget, and landscaping is expensive if you go through the actual game menu. But you can use these beautiful debug trees. Now, obviously, your Sims are not going to get nicely decorated buffs from them and things like that, but you know, they will make your build look pretty at the start, and then when your Sim earns that money, they'll be able to actually decorate their garden. Big thing to note about debug is the items can't be cloned using the eyedropper tool. So we'll just put something out here. It'll say nothing here can be cloned. So if your debug menu is as large as mine, if you have all the packs, it can be a little bit tedious to scroll through. So if you know that you're going to use a few of an object, I would definitely place many of them down so that you have them on your lot, because it can obviously be a bit of a struggle to go back and scroll, because yeah, like this is just extensive, like seriously. Obviously, one of the most annoying things about The Sims 4 is that we can't place fences right up at the edge of lots. But as you can see, these debug ones go very, very close to the edge. So this is something that is great, and it saves money because they're free. If you want to place your fences close to the edge of the lot, you can use the debug fences, and there's a lot of different types, and they look quite nice depending on your build. Yeah, I use these a lot actually. So the next thing I'm gonna show you is how to place objects freely off the grid. So So we'll just take this couch for example. And as you can see, usually in the game you can only place the items on the grid. It's very rigid, you can rotate them like this, it's not very smooth. And if you watch a lot of videos on YouTube, you've probably seen people placing objects freely like this. And maybe you're wondering, how are they doing this? Why can't I do this? It just rotates smoothly. Very, very simple. And as I said, when I found out about this, it absolutely blew my mind. My life had changed forever. This was amazing. All you have to do is hold the Alt key while you are clicking on the object, and there you go. You can move it around, place it wherever you want. You can get it really close to the wall. This is one thing that really annoys me. There's some objects that well, this is quite good for that. Let me see, I'll try and get something. Yeah, so you can see here there's like a gap and it's quite annoying. So what I like to do is just scooch it on in like that, and it still functions, don't worry. You can obviously check, sometimes they'll kind of go through the wall a little bit, but this doesn't. It's all very precise placement, it's fun, it's good, and yeah, it just makes your builds look a lot nicer. You can also do this with items on the wall. And let's just take this Strangerville poster. So as you can see, usually you would have to place it somewhere like this, whereas now you can go wherever you want, and it is amazing. The only thing you can't do this with is mirrors. You can move it free side to side, but not up and down, which is a bit annoying. However, there is a slight fix to that, which I'm going to get to later on in this video, so stick around for that. On the vein of being able to alt place, freely place, there's also ways of doing this with your roofs. So you probably find it can be quite annoying to get a roof just the right height, just very fiddly. So what you can do is hold Alt while you're doing it, and as you can see, it just moves a lot easier, a lot smoother. Makes life much easier, especially if you're doing quite complicated things with your roofing. While we're on the topic of roofs, you've obviously got all of these controls here. So a quick run through of what they all do. These arrows here will change the lengths here of how much overhang you've got. And if you only want to change one side of your roof overhang, you hold Shift while you are clicking it and click on the side, and as you can see, it can change this one down here, but this one will stay the same. And then if you want them both to be the same, just don't hold Shift and move them back. And then the same goes for here. Obviously that moves the two sides, but if you hold Shift and do it, you can just move the front out and have that big overhang like that, if that's what you wanted to do. And then these little ball objects here, they move how I don't even know what the right way to describe it is, but you can make your roof kind of curved, or you can make it more pointed, and of course pull up with this arrow, or down, make it as flat as you would like. And again, you can pull this out to make it more curved. But if that is not enough roof customization for you, do not fear. So this next one is my most recent discovery. If you want more options for your roofing, what you're going to do is hold down your Shift and your C, and here you go. We have some extra options. So you'll see a few more little balls have been added here, and just wait for this. If you don't know about this already, just look. So you can move different parts of the roof. Look at this. Wow. Isn't this amazing? Like, this is my newest little discovery on this game. I'm just chef's kiss. That is all I have to say on that. Fantastic. Let's move on to tiles, placing floor down. So yeah, say you don't want your wood paneling to go in this direction, you want it to go in the other direction. You press this key, what I'm calling the greater than or less than key. I'll have it up on the screen. So not the directional keys over by your numpad, it's these, either one, and as you can see, you can switch between whichever direction you want, and there you can have your floor tiles or your floorboards facing the way you want them to face, because it's a small thing, but it can actually really change up the vibe of the room, I think. So that is that. And another thing about flooring is, let's say the room we're trying to make, we want like to be kind of curved off. So if you want to get half tiles on your floor, so you're going to want to press Control and F, and boom, we have our little half tiles. So you can do some pretty cool things with this, make kind of whatever shapes you want, and then you'll see it's still like that. So you just press Control F again, and boom, back to normal. So you want this couch, and obviously if you want to see the different swatches, you can go over here and have a look at them. The image is kind of small and it's not great. It doesn't really give you an idea, and then it can be kind of annoying to like place it down and then grab this and go through them like that. So what you want to do now, this has to be when you select it from the catalog, and before you actually place it down, if you press the plus key, you can actually go through all the swatches, and the minus, plus or minus, you can go through them all. You can go through really fast like this, give yourself a headache. You can slowly go through them, just filter through all the swatches, and it just helps you get a better idea of the colors and how it'll work in the room. So that is definitely a handy one to have. And while we're on couches, I'll just show you move objects and alt placing working together in action. So if you don't like to use custom content, but you really want an L-shaped couch in your home, you can make your own. So you want to make your L, so you kind of go like this, and you can see there's a little bit of clipping going on here. But if you take alt, so move objects has allowed these to intersect like this, which is great. But we don't like this clipping, and some of them it won't work with, but some of them, if you fiddle about holding alt, see the way I can just move this, you can get it just right that it may not. You might still have slight clipping, but if you can deal with that in your game, like as you can see, it's definitely a lot less since I've moved it that way. So that is using move objects on and alt placing together to create kind of, I suppose, custom furniture. The next little trick I want to show you is how to size up and down objects. So let me see, we'll stick with this little, I suppose, living space that we have created, and let me see, maybe you want this coffee table but you think it's too small. I don't know how this will go, but if you press the bracket key, this bracket key you'll see up on your screen, it sizes it up, and you can go absolutely ridiculous with this. Like, look, I mean, it just, like, hello. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously ridiculous, but you press the other bracket key then to take it down back to where it was, or you can make it teeny tiny. Pretty handy. I think it's most useful mainly for decor items. Sometimes a picture isn't as big as you want it to be, or maybe it's too big. Like this sunflower one, I believe, is very small. Maybe you want it to be more of a centerpiece for your build, so you're gonna just size it up like that, and then it's fantastic. And then you can place it using Alt and put it wherever you want. And yeah, it's just made it more of a big centerpiece of art. So yeah, it's pretty useful for that. That is the bracket keys that you use for that. And finally, on the little tricks that I want to show you is what I was saying earlier about mirrors. So as I said, unfortunately, you can't move the mirror up and down using Alt. You can only move it side to side. And another thing is resizing these objects won't work. As you can see, it's gone completely funny, so it has to stay at its normal size. That's fine. But what happens a lot of the time with mirrors that really frustrates me is I obviously like to put my mirrors over the sink. So when you want to put a mirror over it, it's quite frustrating because it just will usually clip. Like, look at that you couldn't use that. It's completely unrealistic, and of course you can't move it up and down. It's just the way mirrors in the game work. For some reason though, CC creators, this is a custom content mirror and it can be moved, placed freely. I'm not sure why the custom content ones can and the Maxis ones can't. But if you want to move objects up and down, what you need to do is press your 9 key. And you can press it up, 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 up. And if you want to move it down again, you're going to press 0. Now, a problem that you might come into is your camera will go crazy when you press 9, and that is because the 9 key is actually a key that you can select your camera to be like a camera spot. To reset this, if you press Alt and 9 or Alt and 0, you should have no problems with that. And you can do this with any object you want. You can move them up and down. I'll show you what I use it for the most. In every build that I put a garage into, I use this shelf that came with Strangerville. So here we have our seasons decoration box, and say you want to slot it on the shelf, but it is not an object that can be slotted on a shelf. This is a perfect object to use with this lowering and hiring, because it doesn't need your sim to actually interact with it to be used. You just click on it to put up decorations, so it really doesn't matter where it is once you can click on it. So I'm going to put it here because that's the position that I want it in, and then I'm going to click 9 till I get it right up to where I want it. And you just place it there, and it looks like it's just sitting on the shelf, and it kind of just fits in quite nicely. So yeah, that is all the little tips or tricks that I have for you. I really hope that you have learned something new from this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments. If there's any little build tips that you didn't see me include in here that I may have forgotten about, please let me know down in the comments, because maybe I probably don't know about them. If I didn't include them in this video, I probably don't know about them. So please let me know. But of course, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and obviously let me know what you thought of it, all your opinions down in the comments. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I have started streaming on Twitch. Yes, I was really nervous to do it, but I have started doing it. So I'm going to leave the link to my Twitch channel down below as well, if you want to see me building my builds in real time and talking absolute nonsense for a few hours, come and join. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.